Hell yeah.
Oh, well, sorry.
Nope, we are live. The song
Actually, I'm
has
not
ended.
sorry. It's
No,
great.
I
You
will
don't
not
headbang.
apologize.
Fuck you.
I will not apologize for rocking.
No, never.
Never once, never will.
Never, ever, ever.
And speaking of that, we are rocking back into another episode of Bet You Didn't Know. I'm Adam.
I'm Ryan. Or
And
Fears.
welcome back. Hey,
What's
what's
up,
up,
Nick?
Nick?
Glad you're
And of
joining, brother.
course, Carter.
Jackson. What's up, buddy?
What is good in the hood?
What's good in the hood? Typically King Edward's chicken is super good.
Ah, man, I hear that, but I've walked in there a few times and that was enough. I didn't need to go back in.
It's not the cleanest place in the world.
Nope, sure wasn't. But sometimes those places are the best places. So
Well, they
maybe
are.
I didn't give it enough of a chance. But then I would see people get gizzards and stuff like that there, and just doesn't seem like a place for me.
Yeah, no, my mom's a gizzard person. I mean,
Bonnie,
I don't understand what the attraction is to chewy chicken guts. Like literally, it's chicken guts deep fried into rubber, breaded.
well, that we should bring that up, and we'll. How about we touch on this a little bit later because oddly enough, this almost ties in a weird way to one of our topics.
Oh, really? All right.
In a not exact way, but we'll all see when we get there.
All right. Yeah. We'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Yes, we will.
Is there any other related sayings to that? What was that? Cries, eyes purple crying.
Yeah.
Eyes purple crying.
I'm assuming it's a emoji. It's my only guess.
Oh,
Chicken livers.
Oh, I see. Yes. I'm like,
Oh, the question always asked.
there it is. Yes. The question is always asked. So let's just kind of let's go through it again. So this is Bet You Didn't Know on the ADRL network. And we are expanding the podcast network. So we have other podcasts that we're putting together right at the moment. So we have Adrenaline, the podcast with Dr. Fears and Big Head. And then we have Bet You Didn't Know with Adam and Dr. Fears or Ryan or whatever you want to call me. It's supposed to be gagging, chicken liver. Oh, gotcha.
Hey,
It's hilarious how it spelled it out. Eyes purple crying. I'm like,
it's anybody's guess. I don't know
like,
if it was some sort of call to action for some sleeper cell out there. I don't know what we just did. And I'm putting it back up.
Yeah. So Adam and I have this podcast that we do just for the hell of it. It's really
fun.
It's fun. And I'm not going to say it's pointless because really there's a lot of information that we've learned over the past 50 episodes that we've done or
Almost
close to it now. What number we
50 exactly.
50 exactly. Oh dang, 50 woot. And you know, it just started as Adam had an idea. He said, "Hey man, I got this great idea. I love weird facts that a lot of people don't know, origins of words and shit like that." So that's what we've been doing the past year is every week.
What's up,
Watson? What's up, brother man? So we just get on here and everybody doesn't know Watson is our marketing guru. So, or one of them, he's one of the cogs in the marketing wheel per se, but a big, heavy cog. And he's also the one that developed our new website. So if you haven't gone to, well, not Bet You Didn't Know's website, but the ADRL's website, if you haven't had a chance to go in there and check it out. It's pretty bitchin', still in the works. We get some merchandise put up. Visit adrltour.com for tickets, merch, and more info on upcoming events. Adam, I don't know how in the world you just typed that out so fast, but that was bitching.
I've already had that one saved for a while, but that was
no, you could have just gone with it. Like, yeah, dude, I just
everybody saw that I wasn't typing, so I'm not gonna lie to our fans now. We've told nothing but the utmost of truth through all 50 episodes. I'm not gonna start a new trend.
Fair enough. As you sit in the wing of your palatial estate back there,
exactly,
with your pack of Doberman pinchers.
Truths, all truths.
So yeah, as far as Big Head, Kenny, Big Head, he's on the men's. I met with him today. We hung out. I had some coffee. He's looking great. So anybody doesn't know, dude's lost like 80 something pounds. Like it's crazy. Like he's almost at 200 pounds. good for him. He's eating good, taking good care of himself. Of course, he was sick for a little bit, but and not like dying sick, just COVID type long anyway. I don't want to go down a rabbit hole with that. But as soon as he's ready to hop back on, he feels like he's got the stamina and endurance to start pumping out some adrenaline podcasts, and we'll get back on the horn. Today we talked about it, and he's pretty gung-ho. He's ready to go. So we'll see. We considered doing one this Thursday. However,
it's tricky.
It might be a little tricky considering that PRI is this weekend, and I'm super excited to go. Never been to one, full transparency. Never been to a PRI show. I used to go to the Consumer Electronics convention a lot. I've been to some other conventions, but I've not ever gone to PRI. So I'm excited to go see everybody that I know, run across friends that I've made over this past year, and should be pretty exciting. And if all works out there, Big Head will be there. Watson will be there. Prince Adam for sure is going to be there with me. Our competition director, Ashley, may not be there. I think she was going to go, but she may not go now. Either way. So all's good in the hood. So that is where you're at. That's why Kenny's not on this podcast. Although we would have no problem with Kenny being on the podcast. So, we're just kind of letting Kenny do his thing. If you know Kenny, He's going to do his own thing. So when he's ready, he'll jump back into it. So
yes,
episode
indeed.
50, huh?
Yep. Episode 50. I figured since the last episode, we just discussed nothing but death in horrible fashions and horrible ways. We've kind of flipped the script, and I've gathered a few stories of survival, either through luck, circumstance, odds, whatever the case might be. Survival, all the same. So I persevered.
I'm a fan of survival.
Yeah, it's done me well all these years.
Done me well. Well, yeah, I am a fan of surviving. Yeah.
I'm gonna try to keep doing it for a little bit longer. We'll see. I don't know.
Yeah.
Haven't lost all will for it, but
yeah, we should just get a T-shirt that says "Survive, don't be a pussy."
Okay. Yeah. Not sure how well the second part will go, but we'll work it. We're brainstorming. Yeah. It's still in the infancy phases. Nothing's yet.
It's good stuff.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. So I figured we'd change it up just a touch and see how some people survived. So we'll start off with our first story of Margaret Geyer of Saskatchewan, Canada. She was a 26-year-old woman who had recently married her husband, Reverend Herbert Geyer, and on May the 1st boarded the Lusitania for a nice voyage. And I don't know if you've ever heard of that ship before.
I've heard of the Lusitania. I have.
Most people have. At least if you ever listen to conspiracy theories, anything like that. Of course, it's a famous one, or a known one. We'll say that. So, as many people know, 6 days into their journey, the Lusitania was torpedoed by a German U-boat. It sunk the ship, resulting in the deaths of 1,198 of the passengers on board. In all the chaos of the sinking, the explosion, people running around, Margaret and Herbert got separated. And
from her husband.
Yeah, they got separated in the crowd, so they lost sight and connection with each other. Ship's going down. She ends up in the water. And then, we've all seen Titanic or have known about ships sinking. This lady fell into one of those famous traps of, as the ship was sinking, she was near enough to the ship to where, as it was going under, the smokestack created a whirlpool, which sucked her in and sucked her down into the smokestack. Pretty deep into the smokestack. So pretty bad situation.
So wow, no way.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when that thing goes down, it's displacing water.
Yeah, exactly. So anywhere there's a hole,
right?
It's just sucking water into it.
Sucking water in as it's shooting any possible air out, things like that. So that's going down. She gets sucked into the middle of the smokestack. I mean, just about worst possible situation that you could run into for that one. Yes, it was a sister ship of the Titanic.
Certainly was. They look very similar.
Yeah.
How ironic. One gets hit by an iceberg, goes down. The other one gets torpedoed. Sheesh.
One's docked on the coast of California and presumed to be haunted. The third of the three sisters.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But that's a whole nother episode. Let's not get talking.
Yeah. Okay.
We know where I'll go down a rabbit hole quick.
Well, in case you didn't know, Adam and I are huge ghost enthusiasts or apparitions or whatever you want to call them. Like,
lived in a place together that was haunted. That was fun.
And I hand to God, it was haunted. It was genuinely, it was fucked up.
You have to swear to me. I've lived there. I saw it.
I'm not talking to you, bro. I'm talking to the 10,000 people watching.
So yeah, we had that, and then I went on to run 2 ghost hunting groups for about 6 years and ran tours at 2 places. So yeah, I could talk about that for a long time, but all the same, we're talking about people that lived, not people that died.
Yes, but
which
those sort of be living souls.
Depends on how you look at it. This place,
exactly,
rabbit hole.
so she gets so it's going down,
right?
She gets sucked into the smokestack like through a straw,
basically. Yeah,
down into the boiler.
Smokestack, it's just pouring water down into the bowels of the ship. So, and that's about as straight of a shot as you can get down into the engine room, boiler room, everything like that. So all this water is just pouring in like like water going over a dam. When a lake fills over, it's going to pour. So she gets tossed in with all this water going down, not looking good. I thought the Queen Mary was the other one. I could be mistaken on that. I thought it was the Lusitania, the Titanic, and the Queen Mary. We're all 3 sister ships.
I will not be shocked that over the future of our podcast that we don't
Carter's
get fooled by Carter.
It's gonna be his podcast soon.
Yeah. Speaking of which, Carter, you need your own podcast. Would you want to do that? Do you want your own junior drag racing podcast or your
drag
own
racing podcast? Or hell, it doesn't have to
we need the young blood. We need a good young podcast guy, and then you have your own platform. That'd be super cool, dude.
I mean, we're the Britannica. I always think of them as encyclopedias, and I always forget they were a ship.
No shit.
Carter doesn't even know what encyclopedias are, but it's
right. Does anybody know anymore? Oh my gosh, Britannica, Encyclopedia Britannica.
It used to be a job going door to door selling that shit. Can you believe
that? My father-in-law did that right out of the Marine Corps, out of Vietnam. That's what he did. He went around and sold.
Nick knows what we're talking about.
Yeah, Nick knows. Encyclopedia Britannica.
Right. But anyway, Carter, yes, if you are interested in doing a podcast or having a podcast, hit a brother up.
If anybody is, let us know. We'll figure something out.
We'll make it.
The more the merrier. The more time that Adam doesn't have to do anything, the more he loves it.
Take up my time and my brain. If I don't have something to occupy it, it turns against me.
And that is the truth. That is the truth. Queen Elizabeth was Queen Mary's sister ship. Okay. I see. We got a bunch of Googlers here.
Yeah, I see. Yeah. I'm working off a notepad and brain.
Why aren't you Googling this shit?
I don't know. I didn't
supposed to know.
I know I should have. I'm telling you, I honestly, the main part of it was over the weekend. I forgot that we had episode on Tuesday. We've only been doing this for 50 episodes on Tuesdays. So, it is what it is. I had the topic lined out in my brain, what I wanted to do for the juxtaposition of the death episode to a survival episode. So that part of it was at least there. It was just now a matter of finding the good survival stories to put in there.
Okay, so we gotta hear it. So she got sucked in.
Yeah, she got sucked in. So she's going down. She's going down in the smokestack. Everything's pouring right into the engine room, right into the boiler. And that's actually the thing that saves her. The rush of water onto the hot boilers caused an explosion. The resulting force of the explosion was strong enough to force Margaret back up through the smokestack and to the surface of the water.
So she's down. She's sucked in.
Yep.
She's sucked in. It's underwater.
Yeah, not going to get back. I mean, you're fighting the current going under.
Yeah,
You're
yeah, yeah, yeah.
already under. You don't have flippers, all that stuff, and it's a
I'm just envisioning her, man. All the chaos and everything's crazy, and the
lungs,
water's coming over, and people
lungs
don't know where to go.
are burning,
And then all of a
swirling, swooshing.
yeah, and there's smoke, all this water going on the boilers. There's smoke coming out. She goes over, it's going under. Boom! It just happens to explode, just like if you pour hot water on a fire, campfire, or water on a campfire.
Yeah.
When it initially hits, poof!
That steam,
right?
that steam, yeah.
And then it just blows her out of the stack.
Blows her straight out of the stack, straight to the surface.
Man, that is bitching.
It is. It goes on for not horribly much longer, but she gets back up to the surface. She's bobbing there for a while and happens to get rescued by a lifeboat. Also, coincidentally, on that lifeboat, she notices a sobbing man, her husband, who was distraught over the loss of his recent wife. She goes over to comfort him, and initially he didn't even recognize her because she was covered head to toe in soot. All that shit from the engine room, all the coal and junk and debris had covered her. Even though she was in the water, she was still covered in soot. To where
man, what a great story.
So yep,
that it was not their time, not as individuals or as a couple to be gone, man. They were meant to live it out together forever. I mean, what are the odds?
Yeah,
get sucked down, blows up, you get shot out, then you get rescued, and you just happen to be on one tiny little lifeboat, and your husband is on it. Amazing. Lusitania was not a sighted ship of the Titanic. It was the Olympic. Sister.
We learn so much on these episodes. That's the great part.
Sister ship. I got you.
Yeah. All 3 boats were doomed.
Yeah, I mean, that's just some kind of curse there.
Let's not. I don't want to dive too deep into that because cursed objects, the Hope Diamond, the curse.
The Hope Diamond was real.
Yeah, I've seen it. It's in DC. I've seen it. It's at the Smithsonian.
The Hope. That's a real deal. That's a real thing. Wait, are we talking about? Is the Hope Diamond the diamond that was from the Titanic movie?
God, no.
What?
No. No, I get where your connection's coming from there. I'm talking cursed objects, and I see where your connection with us talking about ships is coming from to that. No, it is not the same.
Laugh it up, Prince Adam. Laugh it up.
Thank you, Nick. Yes, it is under a glass box in the Smithsonian, and it's a nice little room it's like a rotunda that you walk around and everybody oohs and ahs at it. It is an impressive piece of jewelry. No doubt about it. The world's
largest diamond?
It's up there as one of Heart of the Ocean. That's what
that's what it was. Heart of the Ocean. Yeah.
So yeah, but that necklace in Titanic essentially is the theatrical representation of the Hope Diamond.
So what was the Hope Diamond? Okay, so what was the Hope Diamond?
The Hope Diamond is, and I'm going by memory, so feel free, chat, to correct me if I'm wrong.
Oh, don't worry, Carter will let you know.
Yeah, no doubt. But I believe the Hope Diamond is one of the largest remaining fragments from the largest diamond supposed to have ever existed in history. The diamond was stolen. It was broken down into chunks or other pieces and sold off to the black market or whatever the case might be. The Hope Diamond was the largest remaining piece of that. Still a rather large diamond, but I don't know if it would be a largest diamond in the world.
So at one point there was this large giant chunk of diamond.
I feel like it was in India or something like that, like in a Buddha statue.
Was it stolen? So it was stolen and then broke up and then sold on the black market. And the Hope Diamond is the last piece, or what they suspect is the last piece of this giant diamond.
Correct. If my memory is serving accurately tonight, then yes, that would be correct.
Gotcha. And the owl. Are they talking about Conrad?
Has to be. It's the only owl I know. That is
Jody. Are you talking about Conrad, Jody? Just out of curiosity. Conrad, the one-eye owl.
Oh yeah, he'll be back. Oh yeah.
And does anybody know? Oh, I bet you didn't know. Since we're here, does anybody know what Conrad or who Conrad the owl is named after? Well, if you know, just throw it up. I'll let you know if you're right or not. Yep. Conrad. Well, that's a great story, man. I love to hear those stories. Shit. I mean, that's
just
tragic.
circumstance. Yeah. Let's see. Now, this next one isn't so much a circumstance. This is more of, I guess, probably classified under oddity. But in 2012, during an English soccer match, 23-year-old Fabrice Mamumba of the Bolton Wanderers collapsed on the field 43 minutes into the game from cardiac arrest, which caused his blood to stop pumping. The medical staff ran out on the field as fast as they could, of course, and started administering CPR and continued the CPR while he was being transported from the field to the London Chest Hospital. From the point in time that he collapsed on the ground, he had almost constant CPR, received 15 defibrillator shots, and then finally, after 78 minutes, his heart pumped again.
No way.
Yeah. 78 minutes.
Wow, man. You're dead for over an hour.
That's a long time.
It's hard to wrap your head around.
Yeah, I know the doctors will go for a while after somebody's declared dead. But I don't know about 78 minutes. That seems excessive. Yeah.
Really? Anyone that touched the Hope Diamond? Oh, really?
Oh yeah. I've got a cursed objects episode logged up in my brain, and that is one of the items that's on there. That was the only when I was there. God, I don't even know what year it was.
Super cool.
Washington, D.C. That was probably one of my favorite trips as a kid, just because of all the history and White House, Martin Luther King's speech at the Lincoln Memorial. The Korean Memorial is amazing. The Vietnam Memorial, all those things that you see in movies or books or whatever, to finally be there. Ford's Theater, all that shit. It was wild. But the Smithsonian museums, holy Christ! If you want to talk about museums that just have the best of the best, the Smithsonian is the place.
Like that must, to me, being a purist, somebody likes things just like OG, the way they were originally, like old stuff, like metal detecting and finding, Civil War uniform buttons and coins and, all that cool shit.
Thomas Jefferson's desk, they wrote the Declaration of Independence.
I mean, dude, that's some jaw-dropping shit right there.
The chairs and table that Ulysses S. Grant and Robert E. Lee sat at Appomattox Courthouse to sign the surrender of the Civil War. I mean, it's that caliber shit, all the way to Fonzie's jacket and the Ruby. Really? There's 6 different total Smithsonian museums. It is still a ADRL site, or still the ADRL channel. This program, bet you didn't know, is not exactly racing focused, centered, or anything.
Right. We'll explain each week, which is cool, which is fine. Yeah. That's great. So let me give you another synopsis. Let me explain again real quick for you, Jody. So ADRL has a network. We have a network, right, in which we're developing podcasts under the network. And so there's the Big Head and Dr. Fears, right? That's the Adrenaline podcast, Big Head and Dr. Fears. But we haven't been doing it lately, only because right after Rockingham, Kenny got really sick and he's on the mend right now. So as soon as he's ready and geared up, we'll be getting back to Adrenaline, the podcast. However, in the interim, Adam and I have been doing the Bet You Didn't Know podcast for about a year now. And it's something we love doing. So, we just kind of got back at it. We were kind of getting sidetracked from it because of Adrenaline, the podcast. So we sort of figured out a way to kind of make them both happen. Except for right now, we're just, again, kind of waiting for Kenny to have his energy up to get it going again. So this is just interesting facts and things that people forgot about or didn't know, and it's a cool hour in the evening on a Tuesday night to hang out and bullshit and talk about some weird stuff. Or share
it's not a
some things.
replacement for the
Not by
Adrenaline
any means, it is
podcast or anything like that.
not at
That's
all.
not going away. We're still going to do that. There still will be plenty of drag racing focused and centered content on the ADRL channel. But at the same time, just like everybody, Ryan and I have more interests outside and beyond racing itself. And this is just another way for us to be able to dive into some of those interests and, kind of connect and form a little bit of relationship with some of the people out there that also share some of those interests. And that's been, at least personally, the most fun part of the switch from Bet You Didn't Know existing off on its own and then coming over to the ADRL network itself is that the interaction has definitely gone up with the live episodes. I do miss being in the same room and recording those, but I like this interaction and Carter being able to correct us.
Yeah. Hey, Jody, love you. Appreciate you. No,
Oh,
hey,
yeah.
you're not bothering us at all. Not by any means.
One bit.
Yeah. No, please hang out and share the wealth, share the knowledge. We've talked about so many different things, and it's okay because now, I mean, we went from it's just it's growing exponentially from the first few hundred people to now a million, couple million. Might be exaggerating a little bit, maybe a little over a million.
Yeah.
But it's just it's fun. It's fun.
It's something we enjoy doing. It's something that I initially gave Ryan and I an opportunity to be able to kind of hang out again. With a good reason, excuse, whatever the case might be, to hang out, and it worked out perfect. He ended up working not far from my palatial compound, as we've mentioned. So he was able to run over. I worked
it's
from
just
home.
A helicopter flight, just beeline right over the trees.
More time getting clearing security than getting here, so that's easy. But yeah, we used to film it, and feel free, any of the old episodes, they're out there on YouTube. So if you want to go back to episode 1 to 50, by all means, go for it. The first, was it about half of the episodes, I'd say, roughly, we filmed in the studio here in one of the wings of my manor, and I would do some editing to the footage after the fact, and I would have fun by putting in pictures and things that made me laugh pertaining to or not pertaining to the stories that we were talking about. And that was how I got my extra humor out of it. So I missed that part, but the interaction, people being able to talk while we're talking, that's a whole lot more fun.
Yeah, this is great.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
Indeed.
Yeah.
All right, my last two, they're a bit wordy, so hang on, and we're all gonna get through this together. But they are good stories. So if I lose you anywhere or whatever, let me know. This story, I actually remember seeing pictures of this guy in the paper or in the magazines when I was a kid. But Buck Weathers, he was 49, living in Texas, decided he was going to set out to summit Mount Everest one of these days, and actually joined an expedition to trek the mountain and go up there and try to see the sights.
Amen.
Exactly, Nick. Exactly. So on May 10th, 1996, the day that he and his team were set to summit, he began to lose vision, and they figure it was a cause of a combination of a recent corneal surgery that he had, the high altitudes, and then of course the ultraviolet light and radiation from the sunlight and the high altitudes up there. So he starts losing vision. The guide they tell him to go back down, head back down to camp. He declines and decides to wait there. The rest of the group takes off to go reach the summit, and just like always, a blizzard pops up.
Oh yeah. Hence all the mummies stuck on the top of the mountains up there.
Green boots and all the rest of the gang that are up there.
Oh yeah, just hanging out.
So Beck is sitting up there at about 28,000 feet, and he's
way the hell up there.
That's real high. That's real high.
That's real high.
So he's in this little alcove, kind of barely little alcove in the side of the mountain, just to block some wind while he waited. Blizzard kicks up. The group finally ends up stumbling back to find him. And when they do, he is in a hypothermic coma. Won't move, unresponsive. The guy that was actually supposed to come back down and guide him down died on the way up. So they left his body there next to Beck, and the rest of the folks went back down to camp, because at that altitude, there's if a person can't do it on their own, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, right. They don't go back to save people.
Right. So they saluted Beck, walked back down to their camp, zipped up, started up their little stoves. The blizzard kept pounding. Somewhere during all of this, Beck woke up.
Get the hell out of here.
He woke up and
he snapped out of it.
So he has, he can't see. He's obviously hypothermic. And somehow, some way, he blindly, through this blizzard, stumbles back to base camp. And I can only imagine, you're sitting in your tent and all of a sudden your tent unzips and this fucking ghoul comes walking through the door of your tent. It would have to be a horrible thing. But they described it. Shit, where did I leave off? And his face and hands were exposed the entire time. So when he arrived at camp, his face and hands looked like they were made of porcelain. One of his hands and his nose, they said, looked like porcelain, but were as black as coal.
Oh, wow.
Everyone was, of course... Oh, go for it.
I was going to say, it's crazy how fast frostbite will turn your shit black.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the blood just can't get there, and it will just die.
Like immediately.
Yeah, it dies quick without blood. So, yeah, this all happened. And of course, the freezing. It's just a bad situation all around. So everybody's shocked to see that he was alive, and basically didn't figure he was going to make it through the night. They put him into a tent, threw him some sleeping bags over top of him, and just left. They left him in the tent. So overnight, this blizzard's still kicking. He can't move, he can't eat, he can't drink. The sleeping bags fall off of him. So he's sitting in this tent, freezing, already frozen and still freezing. He's yelling for help, but the wind was so heavy that the people in the tent just a few feet away couldn't even hear him. So he's just sitting there going through all this stuff, then screaming himself all night long. They finally, the next morning, they open the tent and surprise the dude's still alive. They pull him up. They help him walk down on his frozen feet back down to to another base camp, where he was eventually picked up by a helicopter, which still remains to be one of the highest medevac helicopter operations that's been performed to this day.
Oh, wow.
He survives. He lost his right arm below, about halfway between the elbow and the wrist, all of his fingers on his left hand, parts of both of his feet, and his nose, which was later reconstructed using tissue from his ear and forehead.
Oh, those are random places.
They are, but have you ever seen that guy that
had the full face transplant?
No, well, there is that as well, but there was a guy over in Britain who, I guess through some, I don't know what the situation was, we'll just say an industrial accident, stripped him of his manhood, we'll call it. And there was a process that they were doing that was regrowing one. And in order for it to be able to assimilate to the body and take to the body, it was attached to and connected to the bloodstream, the blood flow of his forearm. So he just had this dangly meaty appendage hanging off of his forearm for however long.
Bro, check this out.
Yeah. Suck my forearm.
Yeah. Suck my forearm, bro.
Yeah. So there are pictures on the internet of that person. If you bet you.
No way. Do they have pictures of are there pictures of a dong arm?
Yeah, of course. Of course. And if it's happened in the world, it's on the internet. So
his
yeah.
Four boner?
Yeah, exactly.
His four appendage?
His 5 arm.
That's crazy, man. Hey, whatever, right?
Medical science. You know, I've seen where they've regrown human ears on the backs of mice and things like that. So it's amazing what technology in modern medicine can do. People have lived with pig hearts for years and things like that. It's crazy what they can pull off, and it
I
always
know. I mean, how great is it that they make manufactured meat now?
exactly.
Laser printed fucking meat.
I
Excuse
mean,
my French, but what the hell?
is it laser print? It could be laser printed meat, or could it have been somebody's ear on the back of a mouse? It's really about one and the same thing. I don't know what the real difference of it would be at the end of it, but it always makes me wonder, like we've talked about stories in the past where doctors will do crazy experiments, and in the past it was for the sake of medical advancement and exploration or whatever, so that they weren't, oh, you've got a cold, we need to drain the bad blood out of you, all that kind of crap.
Yeah.
What are the crazy doctors doing today?
Dude, they're doing all kinds of now it's a
DNA.
whole now it's on a whole different level, bro. Now they're screwing with DNA. Oh, speaking of which,
Sequencing.
as of next year, those 5 biologists, there's a team of 5 biologists for the past 10 years. They've been extracting DNA from frozen woolly mammoths and cave bears and stuff like that.
Yeah,
And
they're ready to bring them back.
next year they are officially, and I think what they're doing is they're using the CRISPR or all their technology, and they're doing it. They're taking the DNA from the woolly mammoths and putting it together with a white elephant. I think is the closest match between a woolly mammoth and modern elephants, and then they'll breed out the white elephant, right? But there's a place in Siberia where they're actually going to I think they're going to start off with 100, I think is what they said. 100.
Jesus Christ.
Right. Tell me about, I mean, it's crazy, dude. So next year there will be a place in Siberia that has actual woolly mammoths.
Yes. And of all the governments I trust
mammoths
to be messing with DNA of prehistoric creatures, it is Russia. So that works out perfect.
Well, and I don't know if they are actually Russian, these 5 medical doctors, these 5
exactly. It's all got to start somewhere.
Yeah, right.
And it's all lead to the same place.
But I think it has something. One of their angles is introducing them back to the frozen tundra, in Siberia, and getting them reacclimated, and that somehow it has something to do with the ecosystem and fighting, whatever green agenda that they have. But but the way it was pitched, the way they explained it, I was like, oh, that's pretty interesting. I just want to see a woolly mammoth.
Yeah. I'm all for that.
I mean, shit. Yeah, where's the saber-tooth tiger?
It's next.
It's got to be next. I mean,
once it gets out, woo-wee, that's
bro.
See, that's what I've been saying for a while. I've been waiting for nature to give us something back to where, you walk out of the house, you got to keep your head on a swivel, something other than, man. But yeah,
and it won't just be eagles taking off with kids.
Yeah, maybe it would be. I don't know. They used to have thunderbirds. I don't know if you've ever heard of those, or reported in the area around here, at least for years and years. I don't know if they're real or not, but whatever. So yeah, it'd be crazy to see what they could bring back. And they're already trying to bring back the Tasmanian tiger or something like that.
Yeah, well, last one, wasn't like the last one died in the early 1900s or something. I think
so
they preserved
60s,
it.
50s. So yeah, they had video.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
That would be cool. But yeah, so these days that's what the scientists are messing with. They're making shit like COVID and fun shit like that. Rumor that the Titanic Olympic was switched before the actual Titanic was setting sail. Oh, no, that would be interesting. Either way, they're both going down.
Yeah. Somebody's failed.
Yeah, somebody's getting hit with a torpedo.
Or was that exactly the plan?
Somebody's hitting an iceberg.
Yeah. Huh. I do love a good conspiracy theory, so I will have to probably dig into that a little bit more.
Oh yeah.
All right, so now for the last story that I've got, which was the one that I alluded to first when we were talking about chicken gizzards, and you tell me if you figure out where the connection comes from. But there's some people that would say that the Marathon des Sables is
The what?
you heard me, the Marathon des Sables is one of the toughest races in the world. It's a 155-mile, 6-day race through the Sahara Desert.
Oh my gosh.
And that's that alone is crazy.
Wait,
Hell yeah,
it's
brother.
a
You can almost sell that.
165-mile
Yeah,
run,
155. Like,
155-mile run through the Sahara.
correct. 6-day. It's a 6-day race.
Is that even possible?
Apparently, it is. It gets done yearly. I don't know why, but of course, it's one of the toughest in the world for its distance, its duration, the heat, the glaring sun, and then also the chances of getting lost because it's a desert. There's no marked roads. It's sand, wind, shifts, things change all the time. So in 1994, an Italian athlete named Mario Presperi was forced. That's what and that was what Google told me to say. It's Mario.
It's a
Uh,
Mario.
He was forced to seek shelter during an 8-hour sandstorm. When he emerged from his shelter after the storm had subsided, he quickly realized that he was lost. And with only having half a bottle of water out in the middle of the Sahara, it's not a great proposition. So he starts stumbling through the desert on
Horse with no name.
basically, yeah. That's where the song came from. It was inspired by this years before it happened. But either way, so he went through his half bottle of water pretty quick. The next day, he resorted to drinking his own urine, which natural. Day 2, he got lucky. He stumbled upon an abandoned shrine and noticed that there was a group of bats huddled in the corner. He was able to grab a few of them on the first couple grabs, and then took his knife to cut their heads off, where he would then suck the insides of their body out to drink any of the blood for possible hydration.
Yeah, you
got to do what you got to do.
You need sustenance, man. You're gonna do whatever you got to do. I will eat bat heads. I will pull an Ozzy Osbourne over and over and over if it means surviving. Whatever.
It helped him survive. That's for sure. He ended up repeating this act 20 times over the next 3 days. And at that point, after 3 days, he he lost all hope of rescue coming and decided to go ahead and slit his wrists. Unfortunately, he was so dehydrated that his blood had thickened to the point to where it wouldn't even drain. So he couldn't even kill himself.
No, oh my Lord. That is like a Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
That's like a Twilight Zone episode.
He saw it as a sign that he was meant to live and supposed to live. Which,
can you imagine, just so destitute, you're like, screw it, and
I'm done.
Cut both wrists.
You're like,
and you
take me now.
And there's no blood, and it's just like open, and you're like, look at that. What? What's going on, man?
Yeah.
Nothing's coming out.
It just clots instantly. It just regenerates right over. It's so dry. So yeah, he couldn't even drain his blood. So he sees it as a sign of life. So he decides he's going to step back out into the desert. On the 8th day, he found a little oasis out there and managed to hunker down, get some water. And
wait, that's not a mirage. There's actually oases in the middle of the desert.
Those are actually things. Yeah, I mean, whether it's
like a little pool of water with some palm trees around it.
It could be kind of varying in sizes from whatever it might be, but yeah, it does happen.
Well, I mean, I guess that's where animals. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Animals have to get water somewhere. That's usually where the crocodiles sit and wait for anything to come drink the water and then drag it in.
Yeah. Gotcha.
So he finds that, manages to hydrate, hangs out there, and fortunately, the next morning he was discovered by some shepherds who rescued him and took him back into town. Yeah, Bear Grylls. The worst part I think about that show is not only the fact that he would eat and do those things, but the fact that after they would say cut, he would get back into the van and go back to the hotel.
Yeah, Bear Grylls is. I mean, it's definitely a production. I mean,
Oh, it was all production. But I mean, if you're going to do production, why are you still doing the real part?
Hey, you know what? That's a good point.
I don't know if I'd eat an elk eyeball if I had production backing me, but that's just me.
Actually, Bear Grylls has this cool survival thing on Netflix where it's a choose your own adventure. So you basically start off, it gives you the plot or the story, and you basically have to choose. Are you going to go down the waterfall or repel in, or are you going to run around to the other side and try to do this, or
build a shelter, find
jump
water
in the water and there's an anaconda? What do you do? Like all these different things. And it's actually kind of cool. Yeah. Would you say you die?
I would die at that point. Yes.
It's a snake.
I think it's an anaconda. I don't know. Yeah. It depends on the size, I guess. Some of them get pretty big.
Yeah.
There are some big ones out there.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I think there's some that are so big that you probably couldn't even imagine that just haven't been found.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's so much space out there in the Amazon. It's crazy. Do you know that
Florida?
Did you know that the trees on the earth only produce roughly about 25 to 30% of the oxygen, but the sea generates
all the algae, all the
kelp and everything like that.
Kelp and algae. Yeah. That's
crazy.
a good one.
Yeah, let's cut it down. Make it a parking lot.
After all that, he still lost the race.
Yes.
Right. Yeah, no shit, right?
There was
that poor guy. What a miserable 8 days that had to be, man. Like,
it had to suck.
You're in a damn 8-hour sandstorm, which I've been in. And they're brutal, man. I mean, you can't get in them because it feels like getting hit with glass beads, which I guess essentially is what it is, anyway.
Yeah,
sandblasted. And then you wake up, everything's changed. You don't know where you're at. Then you get lost. Then you're eating bats. Then you try to kill yourself, but you can't because you're so dehydrated. I mean, like the whole thing.
We've all been there.
You could have made a book out of 8 days.
They probably could have.
Just call it 8 days.
Yeah.
Like 72 hours. Or wait, what was that one? 72 hours?
172 hours.
172 hours.
Yeah.
Who's seen that movie?
I've not seen the movie. I don't need to see the movie.
You need to see the movie. You don't need to do anything.
I read the story and I've played the entire movie out in my head without them having to do it.
Man, like I agree. Reading allows you to be way more creative, right? However, it's still pretty cool to see, man.
I'm sure.
It's.
I mean, I wouldn't turn it off if it popped on, but I'm not going to go out of my way to find it and see it.
I love the fact that he finally frees himself, and he has the wherewithal to turn around and take a couple pictures.
May as well.
Have you ever seen those?
Oh yeah, I've seen the pics. Yeah,
the real pictures of the rock.
Of course.
And then of
course. Yeah.
But you haven't seen the movie. Of course you've seen the pictures, but of course you've not seen the movie.
Oh yeah, I've seen all the pictures. So yeah, like I said, I can play it out and recreate that one pretty darn well in my brain. It's good enough for me.
I bet you didn't know that the Michelin tire character is white because when they first started making tires, rubber was white.
That is correct.
However, as time went on, they started adding charcoal to it or coal to it to make them black. That's why the Michelin Man is white. In case you didn't know.
And those were white walls were kind of a continuation of that to kind of keep a little bit of that look. Still a good white wall tire.
Yeah. So bet you didn't know.
Now you know.
Now you know.
Now we are all just that little bit smarter or dumber for the things that we
Is that from a movie?
Maybe Billy Madison. We're all now dumber for having heard you say that.
Yes,
God have mercy on our souls.
Yeah, that's it. May God have mercy on our souls.
What a good movie.
Oh, so good. Curious what the qualifiers are for the race.
Yeah, I think it's just you sign up. If you've got a death wish and you want to run 150 miles into the Sahara, go fucking for it. I think that's the qualification. It's a strictly F around and find out rule book.
Yeah, right. 100%.
Yeah.
Like, dude, you be our guest.
Right.
Have at it.
Yeah. We didn't start this race because we thought people could finish it. We just were drunk one day and said, "Go run! Look, a race! Go!"
I'll
People
beat
started
you
doing it.
over the dunes.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what starts that sort of a tradition. Who decides let's run 155 miles through the desert? I mean, was it an
The
old trading
Aztecs,
route?
the Indians,
Yeah. Well, I mean, even marathons.
any natives, the
Marathons,
runners.
like the Battle of Marathon. That's where the name of marathon comes from, because they'd sent a runner back from the battlefront to the king. It was like 26 point something miles. That's where the distance and everything comes from.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I did not know.
Now we do. Look at us all. We're learning. We're all learning. I love it.
Bet you didn't know. I bet you didn't know.
I didn't until now.
I bet you didn't know the CIA was involved in the assassination of John F. Kennedy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just throwing some random shit out there.
I mean, I'm on board with it.
But it's true.
Yeah. No, it definitely wasn't a lone gunman. I think we can all pretty well safely agree on that.
Yep.
I'm not going to say that Lee Harvey Oswald wasn't in the book depository and he didn't fire shots out of that window. That's definitely within the realm of possibility. But
like, hey, look, this is the guy that shot the president. Let's parade him around town. Look at him. Who wants to shoot the dude?
Yeah, nobody's going to put that important of a mission into one patsy's hands, and that's a fall guy, pure and simple. But these are all just opinions based on whatever.
So that was great, man. Those are good, brother.
Yeah,
good.
Yeah.
I like that.
Some good stuff.
Yeah, it is fun.
Interesting stories about what people have gone through, and just makes you appreciate, when you're like, oh, this is the worst day ever because I just got 100 emails I have to go through.
No, the worst day ever is when your daughter's skin suit gets carried around, worn by the opponent.
Yeah, by the neighboring tribe's priest. The bad day.
That's a bad day, dude. That is bizarre.
Yeah. No, there's plenty of bad days we've talked about.
They let that guy out of the nut house under watch 24/7. Yeah. 24/7.
Constant surveillance, like a Truman Show.
Yeah, that's right. Or like our
or like the Chinese public.
No. I'm thinking about our guy.
Oh, Melton.
Melton. He was having a bad day.
Yeah, no, that's a bad day.
That's a bad day. Now, just so everybody knows, that guy engulfed in flames in a wheelchair flying down the road. First of all, it's a super cool picture.
It is.
Second, it's not a real picture. I mean, it's a real picture, but it's a movie prop.
Yes.
So now, we wouldn't put something that was real up there per se.
Go back to those initial episodes where we were together, and I used to put up pictures in between things because I'd put some pictures up in there.
Oh yeah, like the guy.
Oh God,
the guy and his wife, and she died, and he didn't tell anybody, and so he kept.
He stole her body.
Oh, did he steal her body? And it was like putting clay on her face, like kept adding to her to, just as she was decomposing, kept putting clay on her.
Yeah, he's building a rocket ship in the backyard.
Yeah,
to take the moon because the radiation was going to bring her back to life. Yeah, what a dude.
You showed a picture of her. She's a real. Actually, isn't she on our intro?
Probably.
It's so bizarre.
She might not be. I don't know. She might not be.
And we do know that Napoleon's leg is somewhere, right?
His penis was stolen.
It was his member?
Mm-hmm.
Napoleon's junk got stolen?
Yeah.
I didn't remember that.
Oh man,
I thought it was his leg.
Man, there were so many good things back in the past 50 episodes.
Oh my gosh, we need to start over on some
In
of
those
them.
those early episodes in the studio, yeah, there was some real information being tossed around.
There sure was. Oh shit. So I think we should do some racing stuff though. Some automotive stuff, some somethings. We'll
Trust
have
me,
one
it's
for
not
hell
that
of
I'm opposed to it. It's more just it's just compiling the information. That's all it is. So
Yeah.
yeah, some topics are a little bit easier to find stuff on than others, and some are it's hard to find things that are the lesser known stuff. But at the same time, like we've mentioned before, if anybody's got a topic that they're an expert on, like Carter with sunken ships,
and
anything
Nick
like
with
that,
all of his
yeah,
knowledge. A
yeah,
lot of knowledge.
yeah, if you've got some stuff, bring it. We would love to hear it. It's very possible.
Yeah, or one of our ancestors.
Yeah, what was the husband's name? John Wayne Bobbitt. That was his name.
For a good 20 years, those were just names you didn't forget.
Yeah, that and Amy Fisher, Joey Buttafuoco. I mean, there was just some.
I remember, man. I remember the Bobbitt case and when they're in court.
Yeah, I got his.
And I remember him sitting there, and I just remember thinking to myself, like,
why are you
that
still
dude's
alive?
junk was cut off.
Yeah,
By his old lady.
Right. Any time throughout the rest of your life, that's what you're going to be known as and for.
All right, Carter. Sounds good, dude.
Beyond this, have one, all of it.
Yeah, maybe we'll just plan for next Tuesday. Why not?
Yeah, we can do that.
Although we're going to be busy this weekend.
Yeah, we can try to figure something out.
Soon. We'll do it. We'll definitely do it, and it'll be soon. Yes.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Not to say I'm going to phone it in on the next week's episode, but we'll find some interesting stuff.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. Well, I think that wraps it up, man. It was a good solid hour of fun. I love doing this, man. This is like a little bit of some decompression at the end of the day. Tuesdays are weird. It's like Mondays are like, oh shit, it's Monday and it's a grind.
Mondays are crazy because it's I mean, on both fronts on my side, it's coming back into things from the weekend. So not only my 8 to 5, but then also at the same time, we both come in from the weekend with X amount of ideas that we've come up with, thought about, or things that we want to purge out of our brains onto each other. So Mondays get to be a crazy day. So yeah, this is a good little break from my mind, at least. To
no, Adam, you're a good little break.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Like a Kit Kat bar. So yeah, no, these are a good little refresher, and it's educational.
Yes,
and it's fun,
and it's most importantly, it's fun. Yeah, so tell your friends, tell everybody out there they're coming to.
Run and tell you, hide your kids, hide your wives.
They're coming for everybody out there.
We educating everybody out here.
Oh my Lord, I forgot why that popped into my brain.
Why not? Antoine. Antoine. I knew the guy's name was Antoine. Isn't that horrible?
That is horrible.
God. What?
Hide your kids, hide your wives. They're raping everybody out there or trying to rape everybody. I forgot. If you haven't seen that, that's an old interview from the news.
Oh, man.
This really flamboyant dude. He's funny as shit. And he's doing this interview, and just the shit he says is, I mean, it's just funny as hell, man. If you've never seen it, just Google Antoine news interview, even song. I think they made the song out of it, right?
It was a good song too. It was a catchy little jingle.
Did you know that the guy that made that song from Antoine's interview is also the guy that made the Corn song? You know, it's corn, big lump of knobs. It's got the juice. It's got the juice. I don't know if you've ever heard that or not.
I think I have, but not near to the impact as Antoine's song.
Oh yeah,
that's for sure. But it's amazing what people can do with their talents and technology.
Yeah, it really is, man. So, but yeah, another great episode. Appreciate everybody coming in and hanging out and talking. Much love to everybody. And maybe you'll be at PRI this weekend. If not, hope you guys have an awesome weekend. If you are at PRI, let's hang out, have a drink, shoot the Shiat. Carter, are you going to be there? Nick, anybody? Any of you guys going?
Anybody in here?
Is it like an open to the public thing? I don't know. I honestly don't know. This is my first time going. And look, and as a gearhead, as somebody that's got a hot rod and has been racing since I was a kid, not illegally racing. I'll just say it. I mean, I didn't have a racetrack near me when I had a dirt track. My grandpa owned a dirt track. And Adam, you know what dirt track I'm talking about. We had the local. We did have a drag strip, but it was
way back in the day. Yeah,
it was Mid-America Raceway down Highway 70, and it was a good distance from us. And I didn't really start going there till I was a teenager, but I grew up going to the dirt track races. That's what I grew up doing. But not until I was a teenager did I start wrenching on motors and shit, and then went into the Marine Corps. And then when I was in the Marines, I had the pleasure of working on 5 tons and Hummers and LVSs and sinking them and rolling them and blowing them up and all the fun shit you do in the Marines when you're out to take over the planet. World's largest legal gang. It's pretty great. Anyways, so I'm excited to go because not just to meet everybody from the industry. I mean, I think that's happens inevitably, but to really check out the cool products from everybody, right? All the new, I don't even know.
Man, we were going for 2 totally different reasons, but that's okay because none of that stuff even moves my needle in any way, shape, or form.
I know it doesn't, and that's cool.
Yeah, I don't know anything about it. I understand the basic principles of it. I used to build go-karts and stuff like that, so I get it, but it doesn't excite me. I've already got a meeting with a guy at the racing simulator booth. So yeah, I've been putting in work on my side. There's plenty there for me to do.
Well, that's great. And apparently it's endless walking for 3 days. So if that's the case, and there's that much stuff there, it's just going to be brain boner the whole time.
It's going to be crazy.
Yeah. I'm super excited about it. So hope to see you there. If not, love you guys. Appreciate you joining in.
Indeed.
And sooner than later, Adrenaline, the podcast, will be back. As far as and Carter, this is kind of PRI is like the World of Wheels show in Washington, D.C. Okay, cool. Fair enough. Yeah, that's exciting. I kind of look at it as almost like the Consumer Electronics Summit or CES or whatever you want to call it, where it's just all the new modern technology from everybody, right? And so I have a feeling this is going to be the same. I can't wait to see what Holley has, and I mean, just everybody, just all the different brands. I'm not plugging anybody's stuff, but yeah, so it should be exciting.
I never met Holley. You'll have to introduce me to her when we get up there.
Oh, she's
I know it's an engine. I'm not that out of touch. But
oh, you're not, because it's not an engine.
What is it? Isn't it
I know it's an engine.
Isn't it a motor or something like that?
No.
That's what I thought it was. All right, well, maybe I am that out of touch. Doesn't matter. That's not what I do here.
It's okay. It's okay. It's all right. It's like Holley, Edelbrock. They're all fuel system, like carburetors and fuel injections, electronic fuel injections, all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
So
it goes on the engine. So I was right.
Yeah. It's a part of the engine. Yeah, it is a part of the engine.
I've seen Edelbrock on headers before, and to me, a header is the engine.
A header is a part of the engine per se.
In my mind, it's the engine.
It's the engine. Exhaust manifold. It's the engine. There's bolts going into the block.
Yeah, my arm's the engine. My arm's a part of my body. It's just an extension.
All right, touche. That's good. All right, fair enough.
Yeah. Maybe I'll learn more up there. We'll see.
Yeah. But yeah, so exciting. So appreciate you guys joining in.
Indeed. We will do this again next week. Tune in, like, subscribe, comment, and share, as we always say.
Please. Hey, and look, the website's up. Basically an engine.
Yeah.
All right, Tracy. There it is, Adam. You got some people on your side. It's basically an engine.
I've got support. Yes, my secret YouTube account is coming in handy. Where I call myself Tracy in my spam account.
What Marlon say is the 80 Royal Racing in 2024 got on here.
Got on here late.
Oh, got on here late. The answer is yes. We have not put out. So actually, I was getting back to saying that, and this one's for you, Carter, because I know you've been very diligent about asking. We have not released our schedule yet because we have been in some really heavy sponsorship conversations that will dictate one or maybe two different markets. So and really it was I mean, man, the universe is just looking out for me. It always does. The universe is always looking out for you. If you do the right thing for the right reason and your moral compass is in the right way, right direction, I mean, it's just going to give you everything you need, right? Whether you want to call that Jesus, God, the universe, whatever it is, it provides, man. And out of the blue, a couple days ago, actually last week, I got a phone call from somebody and saying, hey, we were in a marketing meeting and all of a sudden I thought about you. And so I'm reaching out and we want to talk sponsorship. So it was a beautiful thing. I mean, it's super amazing. So, yeah, it's very, I mean, look, with my connections in the U.S. military and in the Marine Corps and the Navy and all that, there's so much opportunity for us. However, we're just kind of getting our sea legs back underneath us. We had 2 killer events last year, as a lot of you guys know. So this 24 year is just going to be even more amazing. We're just, need to make sure we got a few things nailed down, have our ducks in a row, and then we'll release it. So appreciate you asking, Marlon. So the answer is yes. The answer is yes. And I'll just keep it at that. And then we'll do a press release. I just feel bad because, Carter, man, I love you, brother. And I know, dude, you've been asking, and I told you last week we were going to have it out this week. And then all of a sudden, it's not excuses, nothing like that. I guess it technically is an excuse. Sort of.
I get it because of where I'm sitting and my involvement in it. And yeah, it's hard to describe it, but it's really not an excuse. It's a delay in what we had hoped to be able to release because of situations that presented themselves in the meantime.
Yeah, an opportunity, an amazing opportunity has just presented itself. So we're gonna keep I'm feeding the tour, pumping everyone up. Yeah, hey man, I know Nick, and we can't thank you enough for that, brother, for real. And man, I want to tell you, all the tracks have been reaching out, and man, you guys got to come by the booth and this, and the after parties and all these things, and I'm pretty humbled, man. Everybody, it's just been super fantastic. So yeah, we're getting it together. We'll let everybody know. And, I do apologize if it kind of puts everybody in a pinch in the last minute trying to figure out what they want to do next year. But you'll know what you want to do. We'll release the schedule. We know where you're going to be.
You may not know what you want to do, but you'll know what's right to do.
You'll know the right thing to do.
Yeah, listen to your heart.
Listen to your heart, as Hart would say.
Exactly.
I just have that song going through my head.
Yeah, it played instantly in my head too.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, for real. And I'm excited to meet Wes Buck.
I'm excited about a lot coming up this week. And I don't even know what to be excited about. I don't know exactly what to expect, but yeah, I'm looking forward to all of it and hoping to develop carpal tunnel from shaking too many hands.
Yeah. And maybe some hand, foot, and mouth from kissing too many babies.
Oh yeah, it's possible. My niece just had that, and we weren't able to hang out with her at Thanksgiving, so that is a possibility.
Yeah. Well, if anybody's got any suggestions on what to do there, like I said, it's my first time. If there's anything cool that I need to go out of my way to check out, shoot me a message, shoot me whatever. I mean, a lot of people have my number. If you don't, you know where to find it.
Hit us on Facebook,
whatever. Let me know, because I want to make the most out of it while I'm there. I mean, Adam and I will be there, and I hope Big Head can make it. I hope Watson can make it. I'm pretty sure Big Head's on the fence. again, he's just coming out of being pretty down for the past 2 months, and then to go put himself in a convention center with thousands and thousands of people, it's kind of weighing on him. So he's trying to decide on that. But either way, we'll be there, Prince Adam and I, for sure. And it'll be the first time I've ever gone to a convention and didn't stay at one of the hotels near the convention. This will be the first time I've ever gotten an Airbnb for a convention, which just sounds so much nicer.
Well, but that was my requirement. I'm going from this, and you expect me to go into a
okay, so yeah, I know, right? So Adam's like, excuse me, I'm not staying at a hotel. I said, okay, fine. I was like, we can do an Airbnb. He's like, well, it needs to be at least like $3,500 to $7,500 a night, because that's going to give us, we need at least 5,500 square feet. I need
I had to buy a house in Indy.
So there it is. I'm not trying to put your business out there, bro, but
it's all good.
After we leave, if anybody needs to stay in Indianapolis, Adam's got another palace out there.
I got a spot for you.
So I appreciate that, dude.
It's just one of the many things I do, just ease of life.
Yeah. I don't know how my feet are going to feel walking on hard marble floor after walking the PRI convention all day long.
You get used to it, but we'll deal with that problem. Maybe we'll just have to get segways for that.
Adam thinks carpet is gross, so he only does like marble, granite, tile, hardwoods,
old ship deck. I like that kind of stuff. Yeah. Repurposed. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You're a repurpose.
Some of my ideas could be repurposed.
You.
All
right. Well, we'll let everybody get back to it. Appreciate y'all. Much love.
Appreciate y'all. We will catch you next week.
Like, subscribe, follow. It's fun.
It is. That is fact.
Peace and chin grease.
Bulls on Parade. Also from a past episode. If you don't know, check it out.
Bulls on Parade. Peace and chin grease.
Go fuck yourself.